Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And it is always my pleasure to read with you guys. Hope that you are having a good day and that you are ready to read. All right, guys. Please don't forget in the comment section, guys, go ahead and comment where you're from so that we can know how to tailor our reading to really suit your needs. Let us know if you are a learner of English. So you're learning the language, or if you already is familiar with the language, but you're just building your reading of other stuff. Let us know all that. And that would be really good so that we can help you to improve your English. So, guys, today we are going to be continuing our reading about traveling. And as we have said before, traveling is something that we all maybe want to do or we aspire to do. And traveling is something that you might find much delight in. So it's really good that we can practice to read about traveling. When we practice to read about these topics, it would also help us to be able to not just read about them, but to also speak about the topics. So it is my hope that you would really enjoy the reading session and that it would also, help to enlarge your vocabulary or to advance your vocabulary and also your speaking and your listening in English. So thank you so much for being here. And I hope that you guys would really improve in all aspects of learning English. For those of you who are English speakers, you already can speak the language, but you may not be speaking it in the correct structure or order. Well, I hope that you also enjoy your time here reading in English. So, guys, let's go ahead and let's get to our practice. Let's go ahead and let's get to our practice. But before we begin our practice, I just need you guys to be in the comment section telling me where you're from. Remember, we want to also get that aspect in as part of our session. Knowing where you're from can help a lot with helping you as you are on your learning journey. It can really help you a lot. So please, guys, it will be really good to know where you are looking or viewing from. Don't forget that. And I do appreciate you being here. I cannot say that. Just one time, I have to say it over and over. Without you guys, this would make no sense because there would not be an audience to tailor the instructions to. There would not be an audience to receive. And if there's no one to receive, then it's not going to make sense. All right. So I do appreciate you being here and do you enjoy, just let's do this together. And I hope that it adds a lot to you learning about English. All right, guys. So let's do this together. All right, guys. So you know how it begins. It always begins where we would look at our text that we are going to be reading. And from our text, we are going to be looking for words that we find very difficult to read. That's what we're going to be doing. So please just keep doing that. And then, of course, we would begin. So please scan through what we're going to read. We have all our information there, what we're going to be reading. Go ahead and scan through. Remember, our text today, is about my first time traveling to America. And this is episode 4, which means we have done 3 parts before. So if you want, you can go back to those 3 parts to see how far we have come, so that this can help you to really understand the context of the reading, understand what we are trying to achieve in terms of our reading. So you can do that, guys. That would help you a lot. All right. So I guess we are ready to go. Guys, give me 1 second. I'm just going to stop the screen so that I can just make um a correction, and I'll get the stream right up again. So just give me 1 second to do that, guys. All right, 1 second. Okay, so I am going to reshare the screen right. My apologies for that. All right, guys, so we are back. You should see the screen in front of you now that we are back. Are you ready to read? If you're ready to read, please type in the comment section. Ready? If you're ready to read, please type in the comment section that you are ready. Let me see you guys type in the comment section that you are ready. Guys, type in the comment section that you are ready. Also, let us know where you're from. Let us know where you're from. Let us know where you're from, guys. If you're going to be reading very soon. All right. Guys, are we ready? Are we ready? Is everyone ready? Are you ready to read? Let me know if you're ready to read. Let me know if you are ready to read, because I'm ready. I'm ready to read, guys. So just let me know in the comment section if you are ready to read. So we just gotta share the live with it. Please assist me in sharing the live. That would be really good. For you guys to share the live to others that you know might be interested in reading. Share the live to someone who is also interested in reading this. You guys know how it goes. So there are persons who can truly benefit from these reading sessions. Please share the line. All right. So you're going to begin. Okay, guys, let's begin our session for today. It is a pleasure having each and every one of you here today as we read. I hope that you would make the meaning of the text. You would also be able to read through the text fluently, your spelling and your vocabulary along with your grammar. I do hope that you see some improvements as you read. All right, so let's begin. In today's session, we are reading about my first time traveling to America. This is episode 4, which means we have already read 3 parts of this text. So if you guys are interested in those 3 parts so that you can understand the text better, then it will be good to view the other 3 lives so that you can go through those texts, then you can come to this one. Or you can view this one for now and then go to those. So we are ready to read our text. Well, let's begin. We're going to look for words that might not be so familiar to you or words that they look long, or some of us we call them big words, and they might look a bit difficult to call. Those are the words that we're really going to be looking at. The smaller words, we are also going to be sounding them out and breaking them apart, but we're going to go very quick with the smaller words. All right, so let's begin. Our first word that we're going to be looking at is this word. In this word, we see the rhyme like in the word rum and tum or mum. We see this same rhyme. So we say k, come. P and L together makes the song poo. The E here makes a long song. That's where the E call its own name. So we hear E because in the root word, if the ing was not added, this word, sorry about that, guys. If the ing was not added, this word would have been ending with the E. So the E here at the end will be silent, and this one that comes before would make the song E, making a long song. But for spelling purposes, the E is dropped and then you add ing. Remember when the word is written with the E, that would be in the present form, as in the action happening now. When it is ing added, it means that the action is happening. So it would be in a continuous form. Okay, so let's go ahead and call the word. Can you remember what ing says at the end of words? Ing says what? Ing. The I makes the sound ing, and the ng makes the sound need. We hear ing. So now let's call the word. We're going to be calling the word complete. Complete. So the word is complete. And when we add ing, ing would make the sound ing. So our word is complete ing, complete ing, completing, completing. What does it mean to complete something? What does it mean to complete something? Yes, what does it mean when you complete something? So when you complete something, it simply means that you have done all that is necessary for that thing, or you have all that is suitable for it. Every part of it is filled, or all the necessary parts have been finished, or you're done. So complete means when you finish something, or when you finish, yes, when you finish doing something or making something, or when the whole part, the entire part of it is done, you would say that you have completed. All right. So that's what our word completing means. So that means that in this reading, I was finishing, or I was putting in like the necessary information, all of the necessary information for every part of it. Okay, let's go to our next word. We have O and R together saying or. So we have um form, form, form. What does the word form means? Form. When something is formed, what does it mean? It means that it takes shape, or there's an arrangement, or there's a structure, or there's an outline, or there's a design. Any one of those things we can use to mean form. So when something is formed, it means that it is set up in a way that it can be seen, right? When you bring together or combine things, you can say that you have formed something also. But in this case, this is a form, okay? So all those forms that I just gave would be like form as in the naming word, the noun, shaping something, the shape of to shape something, or to arrange something, or to have a structure. It would also be like the action word where you set up something, or you bring together some parts and make them mesh together or combine together to create something. All that would be form. And a form in this context would actually be like a paper that has instructions on it, and based on the instructions, you would fill the information for the instruction. So that's what form in this context means. So it means that it's something that you have to actually complete. All right, let's go to our next word. Our next word is E and R together, Per by itself is a small word. So if you can recognize that small word, that is very good. We see another small word on. We add it with the S to say on, sun. So we have person. So this word here is person. And then we have AL, sorry, at the end saying R. AL can make two songs. It can say al and it can say R. When it's inside of words, that's when you hear R, like in the word talk or chalk. But in this case, we hear R at the end. So when we put all this together, we have son, al, personal, personal. When something is personal, what does that mean? So we have the word person, which can actually help us to gain context. Person, and we know a person is when we talk about a human being, right? So when something is personal to you, what does that mean? Let's guess, guys. All right. So anything that is personal to you would be something that belongs to you. It would be something that you own or possess. It would be something that affects you or something that is unique to you, something that is one's own. So something that you own is something that is personal, something that belongs to you. All right. You can also use personal in the way to mean that this thing is private or this thing is confidential. All right. So personal can also be used for that. Okay. Let's move on to our next word. So in this word, we see the prefix D, and then we see a small word. Remember, A and I together says A. So we hear A for the A and I. So we'll say tail. Well, let's put the two parts together, then we'll add the S sound. Always remember, whenever you have words ending with S, ing, ed, or es, you would do the root word, which means you do the part of the word first, and then you add the song for the es or ing or s. So the word is D and tail, detail. Let's add the S song now. We hear details. We hear details. All right. So good so far, guys. Let me know if it's so good so far. Yes. Our word is details. What is details? So if I am to say, hey, can you give me more details? What am I talking about? What am I talking about? So details, those may include facts, and they are just simply more being more particular, as in you add more information to something. So you give information that surrounds whatever you're talking about, right? The circumstance or things that are attribute to that one, to whatever you're talking about, or points that goes with whatever information you're giving or whatever you're dealing with. Because it can also be for a thing that you can add more details to it. So which means you just add more items or features to it. And you'll be very specific in whatever you are adding to it. All right. So that's our word, detail. So on a day-to-day basis, we have to add more details to whatever we are doing or whatever we are saying. We have to add more details when we're speaking. We have to add more facts or more information to what we are saying. The same when we are making something, we have to add more items to it, or we have to add um, more things that are unique to it, and all those we call them details. All right. Our next word, we have done this word recently, and we say that the A in this word is silent. So the E and R, they actually go together to make the sound So we hear d, heard, heard. And we say that this heard is like when you hear something. So what can make you remember it when you're spelling it is to make sure that you spell the word A. A. Make sure you spell the word A. And this A is like your A on your body that you use to listen. Because when you hear the word, you're going to hear heard, heard. So you're going to hear the ER sound, and in spelling, you might think, hey, it's ER, right? But if you write ER, then you're going to get heard in terms of animals. When you have like cattle and you group them collectively, or you have elephants and you group them collectively, they are known as a herd. So a herd of cattle, a herd of elephants. Okay? So always be very careful with your spelling. So to remember your spelling, remember you can see the word a, like your body part in it, and that would make it very good for you to spell the word herd. All right. Don't forget that, guys. Or your spelling choices will not be wise. Or your spelling choices will not be wise. Just always remember, I can spell the word a in herd. But when I'm pronouncing it, when I'm calling it, it is because the A is silent, so the E and R goes together to say oh, oh. So that's just a tip there for you guys. And I hope that you will remember. Let's now look for our next word. Our next word, just like E and R says I and R also says Just like E and R says I and R also says Then we hear the S and T make the sound st, st. We put them together, we hear first, 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 first. First means that this thing is in the position at number one position. It's in number one position. There is nothing that comes before that. Anytime something is first, it means that that is the one that is in the number one position or that nothing comes before it. Okay? So the word heard, that is the past tense. Remember, heard is the past tense for the word hear. Hear, and you can also spot a in the word. All right. And that's for your spelling purposes, guys. Don't forget. All right. So now let's look at this word. Then we're going to be reading the sentence. In this word, we see the small word all. And we add the C. When we add the C, we have k, all, call. What does it mean to call? What does it mean to call? When you call someone using your phone, maybe using another device like a walkie-talkie, when you call them, what are you doing? So when you call somebody, what are you doing? You're simply making contact. You're simply making contact, right? So when you call someone, you're making contact. Also, call can refer to you just using your voice and like making a cry out very loud or like a shout. When you shout, you're also calling. When you command someone, you're calling them. Call can also be like when you address somebody by their name, that's like you calling them. So you meet someone and you say, hey, miss, or you say, hey, Raj. You're calling that person. Or when you try to contact someone using a device by voice, you're calling them. All right. So let's go ahead now and let's read our sentence. Let's read our sentence. Remember, is at the end, this one silent, the vowel. that comes before, most times it will make a song calling its own name. Sometimes it does not. You have to always pay attention to your words to remember them, which ones will make the song and which ones would not. So our word here is w. The W makes a song, the H stays silent. You hear w, w, while. While is our word. Let's now begin reading all the words that we have completed. So we have completed the word while, completing, form, personal, details, heard, first, call. All right. So we have completed all those words that we have circled in green. The smaller ones, we did not complete them because some of these words, you can actually find them in the bigger words. For example, this word on, we have completed it in this word where we had that small rhyme on and we added to this. So we have on, sun. Okay. So that's why we learn small words and bigger words to help us to call the words easy. So let's go ahead now and read. Remember, when this word comes before a word that begins with a consonant, we would say the. When it comes before a word that begins with a vowel, we would say D. All right, so that's just for us to remember for practice. Are you ready to read now? Let's go ahead and let's read. If you're ready, let's go ahead and let's read. Ready to go? Let's go. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the. All right. So remember, we always practice slowly at first, and then we go gradually to build up to reading very fluently. So let's practice it again. This time we're going to be reading in phrases. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the. All right. So if you were able to do that, that is very good. So now it's time to read very quickly. Do you think you can do it? Do you think you can do it? I think you can. So let's go ahead and let's read it very quickly. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the. Oh, guys, you got it. You got it. You got it. Let's go. I think you got it. Do you think you have it? I think you stop. So we're going to read it one more time just to make sure that we have it all together. And I know that you guys would not disappoint. All right. So let's begin. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the. Right. If you have done that, you have shown your rising tone and your falling tone and all that. I am proud of you. I am so proud of you if you've done that. Let's do it one more time. Remember the bigger words. All right. Completing, form, personal, details, heard, first, and call. We have done all the words and we have broken them down. So I expect you guys to be able to get them one time. So now let's go and read right through fluently. I have all confidence in you. So come on, guys. Just show it to me. Let's go. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the. That was good if you were able to do that. I know you guys can do it all. And I have every confidence in that you got this. All right? You got this. You totally have this. All right. So now let's move on to some words, some other words that you might find very difficult to call. Let's move on to some other words that you would find very difficult to call. Good. Guys, remember to type in the comment section words that you yourself find difficult to call. All right? Because all of the words, I may not do every single word that you yourself may find difficult to call. So we're going to look at this one. And this one is a long word. We have an, as in the small word an, like an egg, an apple, an. Then we have n, O and U together can make a lot of different sounds. But in this word, we hear an, ni, on, and then we hear ni, and then the end is silent. So let's see what we hear. You hear anong, and you hear nung, as in, and nung is the name of a person, animal, place, or thing. It's a name word. And you hear nung, just ignore that. So we hear an, nung, so we hear ong, 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 anong, and then we hear the C coming before the E, making the song like S. And when C comes before E, I, or Y, we hear a song like S. So yes, announce. And then we have an ending. You can see the small word men. If you don't know men, you can see the rhyme N. So we can just say and mend. So this part of the word, it is a suffix. It's added to a lot of English words. If you learn that part of the word, then anytime you see it in a word, you call the first part of the word and then you add it to the word. Okay? So by now, everybody should know meant. Once you see meant in any word, you're able to call it. So let's go. We have announce. Announce. Our root word is announce. And then we add our suffix meant. Announcement. Announcement. But you guys say announcement. Say out loud. Announcement. Announcement. What does it mean to make an announcement? Or what does it mean to announce something? So when you announce something, it simply means that you make it public, or it simply means that you make it known, or we can say that we report it, or we can say that we declare it, or we can say that we put it out there, right? So when you announce something, you're putting it out there. You publish it, you reveal it, you make it public. Okay, I hope that you guys got that. So there's so many words I just couldn't call announce. So when you make an announcement, it simply means that you are putting something out there or you are publicizing something. You basically are sharing information. When you make an announcement, you are publicizing or putting the information out there publicly, or you are reporting something. So you would say it in a statement. Okay. And this would be like about something that has happened, something that is factual, something that has facts in it, or something that has happened. Or you can also announce your intention. So if there's something that you desire or you want, you can announce it too. So when you make an announcement, you're basically giving a statement, or you are reporting something, or you're giving information. And we hear a lot of announcement often. We hear announcement on our radios, on our televisions. We hear announcements on our news stations. So many different announcements. And remember, announcement is something that you put out there, a public statement that you put out there. Or we can say it's a report. Or we can also say that it is information that you share with the public. So it's something that you make others know is an announcement. All right, let's go to our next word. In our next word, we can see the word air. And we have already learned that word air. Air. In this one, the A is not silent, so we're hearing air. The AR together in English makes the sound air most times. There are times when the A would be silent, or times when the E would be silent, but most times it's air. So in this word, it's air. So we put C and L together, through air, through air, play. When something is clear, what does it mean to be clear? Or when you are being clear, what does it mean when you are clear? So when I am clear, it means that I am easy to understand. It means that you can interpret what I'm saying very well. It means that I am direct, or you can say that I am simple or clear cut. You can use all those words to mean clear. Also, when something is clear, it can be something that is transparent. Something that is transparent, so something that you can see through, a glass-like thing, you would refer to it as being clear. Okay? Do you think you understand those two meanings? All right. So if you do understand those two meanings, we still have to go to another meaning, because this is the one that we are really looking for from the text. So this clear, it is like when you free up yourself from something, or when you remove yourself from an obstruction. You can say that you're clear, or something that is unwanted. You can also say that you're clear from it. So clear here can also mean like you basically unblocking yourself from something, or when you remove yourself from something, or take away yourself from something, or when you shift, you can also use that to mean clear. All right. Do we have that? Okay. And clear, in another sense, means when you actually are away from something, or you get out of the way. Whenever you get out of the way, you can say that you have cleared yourself. And that is the one that we are actually looking for in this text. That meaning is the one that we want to go with, the one where we actually use the opportunity to get away from something, or when we get out of the way, we are clearing ourselves. All right. Our next word, we see Y at the end, making the E sound in this word. We hear E, the E makes a long sound, E, C, and we hear K, and we hear O, so we hear C, K, O, and then we hear ET, ET. So our word here is C, K, O, secure, and then we hear ET, security. So the UR here is actually making the sound oh. So yes, E, C, and then secure, and then we hear it and E, security. Secure, and then we hear it, E, security, security. Go ahead and say that. Security, 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 security. Go ahead, guys. Say it. Security. What is security? What does security mean to you? When you say the word security, I need a security. If you say, I need a security, what does that mean to you? What are you really asking for? And we know that securities, they work all the time to keep us what? Safe. Securities, they work all the time to keep us safe. So when you have a security, it means that you are free from danger or from any sort of threat. Security would mean that you are free from danger or threat. So you are safe. A word that we can use for security is the word safety. Or we can use the word, we have our certainty. So we are certain. All right? We are certain. So we have certainty. When there's security, there is certainty or there is safety. And we are free from danger or from threat. All right. So security is actually that state that keeps us safe or that keeps us secure. Security is that state that keeps us safe or secure. When you have a security, you are safe or secure. When you say that you have that sense of security, it means that you have that sense where you feel safe or you feel like you have your freedom from fear. You don't have to fear because you have your security, which means your security makes you safe. Security will give you safety. All right. Our next word, ugh, ugh. We see our rhyme here, ugh. Remember when two letters make the same song, we make one song and then we add our ed sound. So our root word is hug, hug, and then we add our ed sound. So we say hugged. The ed would make the d sound, the d sound. Remember, ed can make four different songs. We hear three at the end and we have one in the middle or at the beginning. The one in the middle or at the beginning is ed, like education. The other two at the end would be t or id. In this word, we hear d. Remember when the word itself, the root word, ends with a song that is a song that you can hear, a noise song or a voice song, then that's when you would use the d sound. If the word ends with a soft sound, like let's say it ends with S or P, any of those songs, then you would hear the sound. All right. So you just have to be very careful when you look at your words with the ed sound. All right. And that would help you to know which ones to use. Okay, so our word here is hugged, hugged, hugged. What does it mean to hug something? And hug, so hug as in the present tense, this would be hug. In the present, this is actually a verb where when you add ed or ing, you're going to double the ending letter. Hug of itself, it is the present form of the verb, so it's the present tense, but hugged would be the past tense. All right? What does it mean when you hug something? When you hug something, it simply means that you use your arms and you wrap your arms around it tightly. And when you wrap your arms around it tightly, you would give it like a little squeeze. So you hug it. A lot of the times we hug people. So we wrap our arms around their body and then we squeeze them or we just hold tight. This is where we express our love or our affection to others. So we can use other words like cuddle. We can use words like squeeze. We can say clasp them. We can say embrace them. All those other words we can use to mean hug. Some people would use the word hold. You would say that you hold the person closely around their body, right? So you hug the person closely against you, holding them around their body. That would mean the same as hug. Okay, guys. So yeah, we have the word hug. Our next word, we have air. Remember, A-R-E, when it stands alone, it says R. But when it is inside of a word, it will make the sound A most times. A most times. Not all times, but most times. Whenever you see A-R-E inside of a word, always be prepared to say air, just like E-A-R says air in this word. So A-R-E also says air. They both say air. In Claire, we hear A. E-A-R saying air. In this word, we are going to hear A-R-E say air, like in the word here. Like the hare, the animal, the hare and the tortoise. All right, so let's go now. Now we'll be able to call the word because N and T together, we can just add them as a blend. Neat, neat. And then remember we add S when we can call the word. After we can call the word, that's when we add S. So let's go. P, E, yeah, and then ants, care, ants, care, ants. So the E here goes back again to make the sound E. Okay? The E here would go back. It would roll itself to make the sound E again. And that's why you have to be so careful with English. So sometimes these vowels in one word, it can make more than one sound. So we hear k, here, and then we hear ants, parents, parents. Okay? Parents. So our word is parents. So we hear parent, that means one parent. But when we add S, we are referring to more than one. Okay. So parent, and then we add S, parents. Who are our parents? Who are our parents? Your parent is actually your mother or your father. The persons who give birth to you are your parents, your mother or your father. It can be it in the case where you have a stepfather, a stepmother, or a step parent. They can also be your parents. It can also be in the case where you have a guardian. So this person is not your parent, but officially as in being your mother or father, but this person takes care of you. Your guardian can also be termed as your parent. Okay. All right. Our next word, we can see ing on it. Ing. Remember, ing says ing. Then we can see the rhyme ib, like in lib and rib. You see that rhyme? So we add the S, we get sib, and then sibling, sibling. So we hear sib, we make the song for the L, sibling, sibling. Then we add the S. Our word becomes siblings, siblings. So sibling is one. Sibling is one. I have a sibling. That would mean I have one sibling. But if I say I have some siblings, or I say I have 3 siblings, that would make me more than one, right? All right. So sibling would be your brother or your sister. Your brother or your sister, you would call them your siblings. Your brother or your sister would be called your sibling. All right, let's go on to our next word. Or we should, no, let's go ahead and let's practice to read this line. Let's practice to read this line, then we go on to our next word. Are we ready to practice? Let's practice the words again. Remember this word. Anong. You can see an, you see an, you see nung. Then C coming before E, yes. Anongs. But yeah, the in silent, and then we see the suffix ment. So we say announcement, announcement. Our next word, clear. Remember, AR says air in this word, but in the word heard, it says So AR can make different sounds. The most popular song is air. All right. So you have to just learn words where it says air and those words says All right. Our next word is security. This is E, the English is something. You are says secure. Then you hear the small word it and the Y at the end makes it sound like it. So the security, security. The next word, hugged, hugged. This is a small rhyme here, hugged. Remember when 2 letters make the same sound, one song, and then we add the ed, which makes the sound hugged. Our word here now, we have ARE in this word saying air, but then the E would go back to say air again. So we hear pair, and then we hear ents, parents. All right. Our final word in this sentence, we have INB making the song, the rhyme ib, like in the word nib and rib. Then we have ing saying in, we add the s to ib, and we have sib. So we say sib, and ing, sibling. Then we add the s, siblings. So we make it more than one by adding the s. Good guys, and we have already done the vocabulary for these words. So now let's practice to read them. If you want to hear the vocabulary, guys, you go back to hear the vocabulary. Let's go ahead and read. Announcement to clear security. And so I hugged my parents and siblings then. All right. So we just read word by word. Now we're going to be reading in phrases, which means we want to read using a couple of words at a time. Announcement to clear security. And so I hugged my parents and siblings then. All right. So you have done that and you did awesome. Now we are moving on to the next stage where we're going to be reading in full sentence. So this time we are not going to be stopping. We're going to be reading, which means we're going to continue word after word, and we're going to try to keep a pace. So our pace, we want it to be very fluent. So we're going slowly first, then we're going to build up by going fast. Okay, let's go. Ready? Ready. Let's go. Announcement to clear security. And so I helped my parents and siblings then. That was good, but we needed to be better. All right, so let's go for better. Announcement to clear security. And so I helped my parents and siblings then. All right, now we wanted to improve even more. So let's do it one more time. Announcement to clear security. And so I helped my parents and siblings then. All right, guys. So if you were able to do that, you are a morning star. You are a morning star. Very good. Now let's go over the words at the top, and then we're going to be reading from the top until this point. I know you guys can do it. I know you can. So let's go. While completing form, personal details, heard, first, call, announcement, clear, security, hugged, parents, siblings. All right. Let's hope that you can remember all those words. Let's start to read it now. I know you guys can. So we're going to do it. Okay. Are you ready? Let's go. We are ready. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the announcement to clear security. And so I hugged my parents and siblings then. And guys, remember, whenever this word comes before a word that begins with a vowel sound, we make the sound D. D. If it comes before a word that begins with a consonant, like in this case up here, we would say duh, duh. All right. So when you're reading, always be careful with that so you can make the correct pronunciation. If you think you have it, let's read it one more time to make it better. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the announcement to clear security. And so I hugged my parents and siblings then. Good. So if you were able to do that, you did awesomely well. Let's now look at the other words. So we're going to look at this word now. So the O in this word says go. A lot of words begins with this beginning. So we hear pro, o, pro. So our word here is pro, pro. Then when C comes before E, remember, like in the word announcement, it makes a sound like S. So yes, then two E's together, E and D. We can put this as seed, like in the word succeed. So let's call the root word. We hear proceed, proceed. So the root word is proceed. Now we are called to add the ed. Whenever words end with D or T in English, the ed sound would be id. Whenever words end with T or D, so this word ends with a D, the ed sound would be id. So we have proceed, id, proceed, id, proceeded, proceeded. What does the word proceed means? So let's see what the root word proceed means. Proceed is the present form of the verb. Proceeded is the past form. Anytime you add ed, it gives you the past form. So the action has already happened. So when you proceed, it simply means that you begin or you continue whatever action that you're doing. All right. So when you proceed, you simply move, or it can mean that you keep going on, or it can mean that you carry on, or you continue, or you take steps, or you just keep getting ahead, or you move forward. That's what proceed means. So when this person in the story proceeded, it simply means that they just continue, or they just keep going, or they just keep moving ahead. All right, or they begin something, or to start something. All right, what other bigger words we have? In this case, this word comes before a word with a vowel, so it's gonna be called D. D. All right. Now we have a, im, like in the word him. This is a rhyme, im, in the word him and tim, him. Sorry, so we have im. Then we have e, im, e. Remember short I, e, im, and then we have GNR, and then a. When we have ti coming before on at the end of words, it says sh. So in this one, we hear a song of sh. So we say sh and on, shon. So tion says shon. Tion says shon. Anytime an a is before shon, we would say a shon, a shon, a shon. All right. So this word says im, e, or a, depends on where your context of calling the word. Some people say immigration, but the song really is a. The short I song, a. But at times the song sounds like e. It depends on which word you're calling, but it would just sound like e. So Amy and then grr, a and Sean, immigration. If you're calling this part of the word by itself, the song would change from Imi to I. So instead of you hearing the short song, you hear the long song. You hear migration. All right. So if you're calling this word by itself, the I would say I. So you hear migration, and that would be where you move from one place to another to live. All right. Migration would mean that you move from one place to another to live. All right. So what then is immigration? So when we add the im part of it, what does it mean? It means the same thing. It means when you come to live in a place permanently. Immigration is when you come to live in a place permanently. So it's the same as migrate. It's the same as migration. All right? The same as migration. But remember, when the word is like this, with the whole part, it says immigration. When you're calling this part of the word, the song for the I would change to I. So it would say my, so we hear I, migration. But if we're saying imi, you're going to hear imi, and you're going to hear a. And then you hear guru, a shon. So we hear immigration. So it's going to be different. So always pay attention to your words to learn the difference. Okay? Now let's go on to our next word. We did this word just yesterday. Remember we said when ER is at the ending of a word, we simply just call the ER part after we call the root word. So we have cook, we get on, and then we hear meat, hong, and then we hear hung, So we hear k, count, count. Then we hear so we say count, counter, counter. And what did we say a counter is? We say a counter is very similar to a table. It's this long, flat surface that normally we see it in a bar, or we would see it in workplaces, or even in our kitchen. So it has a flat top, and we normally do business across it, right? So, for example, you hand the money over the counter to pay for your goods. All right. What is our next word? In this word, we see the WH saying would, just like in Y, we hear would. The W make the sound, it stays silent. And ERE together, in most words says air. And that's what it's saying in this word. Some words we can hear That's where the ER make the sound and the E at the end stays silent. But in this word, we're hearing air. So we hear would air, where. And where in this case is actually asking for a place, right? Where is a question word that actually um, talks about a place. So what place or position something is, that's when we would use the word where. All right, in this word, we can also spot the word and, the small word and, just like we spotted in this word, announcement, we spotted the small word and. So it's the same thing here. Then we can add and to do, and we have and, like when you are joining two things, my dad and my mom, and then we make the song for age and. So we have hand, and this hand is like your hand, as in your body part that you use to grab things or to stretch out, to touch. That is your hand. So your hand is your arm, part of your arm, part of your body. And because it ends with D, just like proceed ends with D, the ED sound would be able. Remember when the word ends with T or T, the ED makes the sound able. So we hear hand, able, handed, handed, handed. So in this case, handed, handed. Good. If you got all that, you're going very well. And yesterday we did this word. So if you were here yesterday, this word should be very familiar to you. If you were here yesterday, this word should be very familiar to you. This word, we see the small word as. Remember when two S comes together, two letters of the same kind come together, you make one sound. When it's consonants, not the vowels, okay? The vowels will not always make one sound. So we make one song for them. So we say as. Remember, this is an inappropriate word to use in a lot of English speaking setting. It means donkey, but a lot of persons use it to refer to your bottom area. So it is an informal word to use, or it would mean like words like stupid, or when somebody's foolish. That's when somebody would refer to you as this. So it is an inappropriate word to use in most English places. So we have p and then as. Pass, pass. So the word here is pass, pass. And pass in itself is a word by itself. So for example, like when you tell someone, pass me the bag, right? That's when you're asking them to hand it to you, right? And pass can also mean to go or to move or to um, proceed or to just go past something or to cross something. Pass can also mean that. And then we have a small word. We see OR. So we say or, we put it together now, p. Port, port, port. So we have port now as our next small word. So this is actually where we have two words coming together to make a compound word. And this is where we have them joined together to make a compound word. So port here, the word port of itself would refer to like a town or a city with a harbor. So a town or a city with a harbor where ships can come to dock and unload or to load, you would call it a port. And at the port, you would have like your custom officers there. So that's a port. So when we put these two together, we have pass and port. Passport, passport, passport. What is your passport? When traveling, you do need a passport. And what is a passport? So a passport is the document that official piece of document that your country would give to you or issue to you. This would show that you are the holder of that piece of document and that you are a citizen of the country for the document. So it would basically be like your ID. So it identifies you. All right. It identifies you and it allows you to travel to other countries. It allows you to travel to other countries. Okay. Our next word is this one. So we also did this word yesterday. So we have t, then the I make the sound a, short I sound, and then C and K, they both make the same sound, so we make one sound. So we have tick, 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 like when your clock tick, 1, 2, 3, your clock ticks, it moves, the hands move on the clock, tick, 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 it's ticking. So tick, and then we have et. So when we put them together, we say ticket. And if we see here, we see et is a rhyme like in the word let and met. So we have tick and et, ticket. But the Americans would say ticket, but the British, they would say ticket, ticket. So the E song, they actually make it like a short I song, A. So they say ticket, ticket. So it depends on where you are that you would pronounce that differently. Ticket or ticket. All right, we are coming very close to the end, and you guys have been such a good one. So now let's read these two lines. Let's read these two lines and let's try our best to read them fluently. So we're going to reinforce the words. We have cook and speed. Remember when C comes before E, I and Y makes it sound like S. So that's what we hear here. So that's why we're able to say seed. So proceed, because the word ends with D, we add id as the ed sound. Proceeded, proceeded. Our next word is im, then we hear m, a, and then we hear gr, a, ti before on at the end of words, so sh. So we hear shun, shun, and this is an ending for a lot of words. Whenever a comes before shun, you would say a shun. Always call the a as a when it comes before shun. So immigration, immigration, immigration. Our next word is could, on, and then count, and then the ER says counter, counter. The ER here says air, the air, so it's a would air, where? And that would be that's when you are asking for a place or position of something. In this one, we see the small word and, then we can build up to and. So we have and, because it ends with a D, our ED sound would be id, so we go handed. handed. Our next word is the small word as. Remember, this is inappropriate to call in some countries because it means foolish or it means, for the original meaning is donkey, right? But it is often, not used as that. So we have put as, pass, as one word, and then we have port. The OR makes a sound O, so we have put, port. We put them together, we have passport. And then our next word, we have to, it. They sing can make one song. Both of them is the song, so we'll give it one song. And then we hear it. We put them together, we have tick and it. Ticket. Ticket would be said in the American accent, but ticket would be correct in the British English. All right, because the British English would change the sound to it. Ticket. So now let's read our word. Proceeded to the immigration counter where I handed my passport and ticket to the. Let's read it one more time. One more time, guys. Remember, this time we're going to try to read very fluently in phrases. Let's go. Proceeded to the immigration counter where I handed my passport and ticket to the. All right. Let's now try to read it in a full sentence. Proceeded to the immigration, and we don't say the. So this is incorrect. Remember, whenever we use this word before a word that begins with a vowel, we say D. All right, it's D. So the immigration. So let's read it one more time using the correct word. Proceeded to the immigration counter where I handed my passport and ticket to the. Let's read it one more time. Proceeded to the immigration counter where I handed my passport and ticket to the. If you did that, that was really good. Now we have only the last line to read. And before we do so, we're going to read from the top, trying to read very fluently right through till the part that you've completed. If you're ready to go, say ready, ready, ready. Let's ready. All right, I'm ready. So let's go. It's good to know that you are ready too. And guys, you get active in the comment section. Please comment. If anyone of you want to come up and read, I would share the link in the comment section to let me know so that I can let you come to read on screen. You don't have to show your camera, you can just use around using your voice. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the announcement to clear security. And so I hugged my parents and siblings, then proceeded to the immigration counter where I handed my passport and ticket to the. If you did that, that was good. Always taking a breath of fresh air before we read, scan your text so that you can go through it very fluently. Let's read through it one more time, then we're going to try to break the words down at the bottom, and then we read our whole text. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the announcement to clear security, and so I hugged my parents and siblings, then proceeded to the immigration counter where I handed my passport and ticket to the. All right, you guys, let's read it one more time, and I hope that you guys will pay attention to make sure that you get all the words correct. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the announcement to clear security, and so I hugged my parents and siblings, then proceeded to the immigration counter where I handed my passport and ticket to the. All right. Always remember to take a breath of fresh air when you are reading like that. So let's go through the last line. We see L and E at the ending of the word. L and E together would say O, O, O. So we hear O, O, O. All right. Let's now break the first part of the word. We hear N, like in the word hen, ben, ten. That's a rhyme right there. So we go G comes before E, I, O, Y. It makes it sound like J. So we go J. So we say J, N, gent. And the LE says O. Put them together, gent, O, gentle, gent, O, gentle. Here we see the small word an. So we say an, man. So this word is a two-part word. We have two words that make up the word. So it becomes a compound word. So we have ch and o, gentle, and then man, gentleman, gentleman. Always remember when G comes before E, I, or Y in English, about 98% to 99% of the times, which means most times, you're going to hear the G make a sound like J. J. It's going to make a sound like J. So you hear J and gentle man. Don't say gentleman. Don't use the g sound when you say gentleman. All right, that's why it's important for you to know the rules, and that's why I'm teaching them to you so you can learn them. All right, so gentleman, E and A together in a lot of words says E, but not all words will hear it say E. All right, in this one we hear E. So E makes it sound, the E stays silent. So we hear. Remember, we look at the root word first. Eat, eat, seat. The ed would make the id sound. Remember, we say whenever words end with d or t, the root word. So the root word here ends with t. We hear the id sound. So we have seat, id, seated, seated. One of the ways you can remember how to spell this word is to hear the eat small word in it, like eat, when you eat something. So if you remember how to spell eat, it would give you um, a very good spelling with the word suit. Always remember you can see the word eat in it, like in eat with your mouth. All right. Okay. In this word now we see the small word be, like the verb to be. In this, we see I. So the I make a long sound I. The N and D, we can group them together to say need, as a blend, as a consonant and blend. So we hear need. It's all this together. We hear be, and be, and behind. Now, kind, what does kind mean? And hind is a small word. Hind. So if I say at hindsight or the hind leg of an animal, what does that mean? So hind, as in hindsight, or the when you say the hind of an animal, you're talking about the back part of it, or you're talking about the rear part of it, right? Or the part that is situated at the back. Or some people would say the posterior part of it. So part of the back part of an animal's body is called its hind. It's hind. Like a bear, the back part of it, you say it's hind. or its hind leg, or in hindsight, it means, when you look back. All right. Um, I did not cover the vocabulary for the word gentleman. But what does the word gentleman means? So basically, we can look at gentle, what gentle means, and we know what is a man. Okay, so a man is basically a male, a male human. We call a male human a man. Man can also refer to general humans. In general, you can refer to them as man. So it will depend on the context. So gentle, when somebody is gentle, it means that that person is kind or that a person is tender, right? Or that person, is a bit, I don't want to say soft, because gentle doesn't really mean that you're really soft, like how people take it to me. But yes, gentle can mean you're soft or you're calm in nature. So somebody that is calm, soft, or somebody that is, very um peaceful, you can call that person a gentleman. So when you call a gentleman, you are actually referring to man as in a male or a male, as in a human male. You would call them a gentleman. Okay? When somebody's seated, what does that mean? So seated is the same like sit. So when you are seated, it means that you just there sitting. So sit is actually the present form of the word seated. Seated is the past tense. Okay? So when you are seated, it simply means that you sit somewhere. It means that you are not standing, right? It means that your body is in a position where you are on something, right? Our next word is behind. What does it mean to be behind? We already said that behind means when something is at the back or at the rear part. Or yes, and we said hind would also mean at the back, like animal hind leg, sorry, would be at the back of it, or the hind part of the animal would be at the back. All right, our next word, guys, we have that same part of the word again that we talk about that we said it's not appropriate, it is rude to use in most English speaking countries. So we found it in the word passport. It's from that small word ass. And we said when somebody refers to you as an ass, it means that they're referring to you as being foolish or stupid. And in that way, it is very inappropriate to refer to somebody in that way, right? So it's a word that is inappropriate in most English countries. But however, the original meaning of the word is donkey. Donkey is the original meaning of the word, the animal donkey. So we see whenever two letters make the same sound, we get it in one song. So it's this, so us, and then we make G and L song together, blue, us, glass. So that word is glass. What is a glass? So we use a glass all the time to drink water. So what is a glass? So a glass is actually, or we should just deal with what is glass, as in the material glass. So glass is a material, and it's a material that is hard. It is a material that you can see through, or it is clear, what we call transparent, and it can be broken. We use it to make windows. We use it to make things to drink from. We use it to make bottles, all that, and we call that glass. Once it drops, it can shatter. All right. Let's now do our final word. So in this word, now we can say in here. Unlike in behind, we can say in. Yet say I and then in. In this one, we can say in. All right. So that's how English is a funny language. That's how it becomes funny because in some words, it's not going to be making the same sound. And that is what makes it difficult to read. That's why you have to read often so that you can practice which words it's going to make the song name with song name. And that will make it easy for you. So let's go in, win, like when you have um won something, when you are victorious, or when you have triumph, you say you win. All right. And then when you add the d, we have wind. And this wind, when we add the d sound, this would be like the air that blows. The air that blows, we call it the wind. We cannot see it, but we can feel it. The air that blows, we call it the wind. So now it becomes wind. But wind by itself is a word, which means that you're victorious. But when you add the d sound, you have wind now, the air that blows. All right, and OW in this word is actually making the O sound, like in the word go or row. So we hear wind O, wind O, window, wind O, window. So the word here is window, window. And you might know what a window is because all of us have windows in our house. So a window is that thing that you would peek through. Yes, you peek through the window. So what is a window? The window is actually a frame that is made from glass most times, but it can be made from wood too. Some persons have wooden windows, so it can be made from glass or it can be made from wood. And it is this frame that you have um, in the walls of a building, or it can be of a vehicle. And this frame would allow light or air to enter into the building or into the vehicle. All right. So a window, it's actually a frame that is put inside of the walls in your homes, in buildings, or in vehicles, and it allows air or light or other things to enter into that space. You can also see through it. It can be made from glass or from wood or from other materials because, these days we're using other materials to make things. So let's call the words now. Gentleman. Remember in gentleman, the G comes before E. So it makes a sound like J. So we have J. The LE says O. So we have G, N, and O, gentle. And then we have the word man, gentleman. And then our next word, remember gentleman is somebody who's calm, kind, soft, or easygoing. We call them a gentleman. And then fourth, a male. A male um, the male species of the human race. Our next word is seated. So we see the small word eat, and we can say eat, and then the ed because it ends with the t means the eat sound. Seated. What to be seated means that you are actually your bottom is placed on a surface. Our next word is behind. You can see be as in the small word, be as in the verb to be. And then we say, we make I sound for the I in it, and then here need. So here be, and behind, and behind means that you are at the back of something, or you are in the rear position of something, right? we've also highlighted the word hind, so you can learn what hind means. Hind by itself is a word. It means that it is the back of an animal or the back leg of an animal that you would call its hind, or the rear part of the animal, you call it the hind. Our next word is the a, and then we have the small word as, glass. Remember, this word as, we try not to use it by itself because it is an inappropriate word in most English speaking countries. All right. So the word is glass. Glass is a hard material that you can see through that um, can be brittle. Yeah, it can be brittle. And if it drops, it would shatter. They use it to make bottles, use it to make windows, and many other things around us. Our next word is whoop in, like when you win something, you're victorious, you are triumphant. Then we add z, we have wind, like the air or breeze that blows. And then we add OW, which makes the sound O in this word, but OW can also say out. In this word, we hear O. So we hear wind, O, window, window. And we say the window is that glass frame that is put into the wall in the homes or in vehicles. It's put into the steel, sorry, not the steel, the metal in vehicles, and it stays sturdy and it allows you to see through or for light to come in or for other things to enter that space or that room. All right. So, guys, you just completed the whole text. Let's now read this part of the text. Let's go ahead and read this part of the text and we read from the top to ensure that we've mastered. So let's remember the word again: gentle, seated, gentleman, seated behind a glass window. Let's now read it in a phrase. In phrase, remember when you read in phrase, you read few words at a time. Few words at a time. Gentleman seated behind a glass window. Let's try it again. I'm sorry I had some noise in my background come up cleaning. And it's so timely because we are talking about traveling. All right, let's go. Gentleman seated behind a glass window. All right, let's now read it in a complete sentence form. In a complete sentence form. Gentleman seated behind a glass window. Let's read it now in a complete sentence. And that's to ensure that we have the pronunciation correctly. Gentleman seated behind a glass window. Very good. If you were able to read it like that, then hooray! You are doing very well. So now let's go from the top to read all the words. We're gonna see if you have all the words. And then we're going to be reading out the clues. So I'm going to be removing the clues for us to read it also. So let's go ahead and read from the top. Are you ready? Do you think you have all the words together? Let's call the most difficult ones before we begin. And that's to ensure that you have all of them together. Completing, form, personal, details, heard, first, call, announcement, clear, security, hugged, parents, siblings, proceeded, immigration, conquer, where, handed, passport, tickets, gentleman, seated, behind, glass, window. I think you have mastered all the words. Now it's time for us to go ahead and read. All right, let's take it now together. Remember, we are reading in sentences and we're trying to read very fluently. We're going to start at a slow pace, then we're going to build up to a fast pace. So first we're going to read it slowly, then we're going to read it moderately, then we read it at a rapid fast pace. All right. I hope that you're ready to go because I'm ready. So let's go. Ready, 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 ready. Let's go. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the announcement to clear security. And so I hugged my parents and siblings, then proceeded to the immigration counter where I handed my passport and ticket to the gentleman seated behind a glass window. How was that? Was that good, guys? I'm thinking it was good. So now you gotta be moving all the dates. So there's not gonna be any clues for you to remember how to call the words. Now it's gonna be you taking your time to read without some clues. Let's see if you get that good. Let's see how you do without clues. Let's see how you're gonna do without clues. No clues at all. So in this time while I erase, guys, you better try to remember the words. And be careful to remove all the things, everything. Everything you want to put on everything, including the thing next to it. All right, guys, I think you're ready now. Read. Let's go ahead and read. Ready? Let's go. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the announcement to clear security. And so I hugged my parents and siblings, then proceeded to the immigration counter where I handed my passport and ticket to the gentleman seated behind a glass window. Did that make it better for you guys? Do you think you were able to do better? If you think you did, I'm proud of you. Remember, you can take yourself reading to ensure that you are improving. All right, now we're going to take it one pace up, which means we're going to read a bit faster. Ready to go? Let's go. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the announcement to clear security. And so I hugged my parents and siblings, then proceeded to the immigration counter where I handed my passport and ticket to the gentleman seated behind a glass window. That was good. I think it was good if you were able to read fluently through it. So we are going to do it one more time. One more time. And we're going to stop there for today. If there's anyone who wants to come to read aloud, you feel free to come and read aloud, which means that you will click on the screen to come and read aloud. Let me know in the comment section if you are interested. Let's go ahead now. And remember, we're going to try to do it at a faster pace. So I'm ready. Come on, guys. Type ready in the comment section. Type ready in the comment section. Let's go. Are you ready? Yeah, we're ready. Let's go. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the announcement to clear security. And so I hugged my parents and siblings, then proceeded to the immigration counter where I handed my passport and ticket to the gentleman seated behind a glass window. All right. That was not so well done because we still had a bit too much pauses. So now we're going to try to just do it without pausing too much. All right. And this is going to be our final reading. Then we're going to recall the words and then we'll stop there for today. Are you ready? Let's go. Ready. Let's go. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the announcement to clear security. And so I hugged my parents and siblings, then proceeded to the immigration counter where I handed my passport and ticket to the gentleman seated behind a glass window. And guys, you have to be very careful. As you see, I made a mistake. I said the gentleman. That is incorrect. It should be the gentleman. Remember, these only used with the words that begin with vowel sounds. All right, so we're going to do it over one more time, all because we had that mistake. So let's go. Ready? Let's go. While completing the form with my personal details, I heard the first call on the announcement to clear security. And so I hugged my parents and siblings, then proceeded to the immigration counter where I handed my passport and ticket to the gentleman seated behind a glass window. And that's it, done. You have done a good job. Let's now recall the words and then you stop right there for today. So, that's for pronunciation, completing, form, personal, call, first, heard, details, announcement, clear, security, hugged, parents, siblings, proceeded, immigration, counter, where, handed, passport, ticket, gentleman, seated, behind, glass, window. All right, guys, those are our words for today. I want to thank you so much for reading with us today, and I hope that you did understand all the vocabulary words that we have done. You are now able to pronounce all the words better, and that your reading is really improving in terms of your fluency, that your pace is improving, and you are not pausing as often. I also hope that your pauses, they are at the right positions or place according to commas or according to the different rising and falling of your tone. I also hope that you have mastered the spelling, the different variations that can appear in words, and that you have also mastered the grammar words that we have done. And we have done some other rules where spelling words with short words that ends with a consonant, and you're adding another consonant um, to the word before adding ed. So all those rules we want you to practice and to improve on. Also, that you are now familiar with other compound words, that we practice these new compound words that you've learned in this session. Practice the suffixes that we've learned, like note and ed and s. Also practice words. Remember, whenever you meet those suffixing words, you call the root word and then you add the suffix, because most of the time you already are familiar with the suffix. Remember also, when a word ends with ed and it ends with the root part of the word ends with tot, the song is ed for the ed. All right, so keep practicing, and I hope that you guys would continue to do well. You would improve to a space where you are comfortable in reading English, speaking, and also in writing English. Don't forget to just keep practicing. So I want you to keep blooming in love, keep doing your best, and may God continually bless you, each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that I'll see you guys soon in the next reading session. Remember to, to read the episodes that came before this one to understand the context of the reading, that we're reading about traveling, that you can go to the last 3 live sessions that we've done before to get those readings. Don't forget, and just keep practicing. Hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you again soon. Don't forget to also share the live, share it with someone who you think might benefit a lot from this session. I will see you guys again very soon. Thank you so much for being here. Until then, good night.